Hey, you know what the best thing to do is? Eat breakfast food. Wasn't that a good impression of that guy from Parks and Recreation?
Yep.
Nailed it. Ron
Swanson,
not Burgundy, not White.
Swan Ronson.
Welcome to another episode of Two Eggs, No Baloney. This is Billy Baloney, and we're gonna go ahead and do our mic identifier. Wow, real low key, low energy. Sorry, everybody.
We just ate.
What?
We just ate.
We did just eat. We all have the food coma. It was Thai
Deal with it.
pig, right? Spicy pig.
Spicy pig.
Thai food.
American Thai fusion, if you like.
Whatever,
So, like,
dude. I like that a
breakfast.
lot. Okay, my identifier today. Oh, I finally decided I'm giving myself to the end of the year to do my first open mic.
And I'm Chris, and I chose the American half of the American Thai, and I had some waffles with some cinnamons
No one
and
cares.
some cream cheese,
No one cares. No one,
icing,
no one
and
cares.
some apples.
No one cares at all.
And it was
No one.
delicious.
No one cares at all.
I'm Genevieve. I have a slushy bubble tea thing.
No one cares about
And
that
I
either.
think I'm the two eggs.
Oh,
You were both eggs?
I am both.
What am I then?
I don't know. You guys
I'm
are just
Jake, and this
extra.
episode is sponsored by responsible for and sponsored by the United Ball Washers Association.
Aha.
so we've got some pop culture that we're going to talk about here.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, we do. I think we're going to get started. One of us,
Pop.
Okay.
Culture.
One of us got went and saw that Endgame movie.
Oh, and
Yeah, Avenger dues.
Yeah, so we're going to try to skip the spoilers, but Genevieve, what did you think of Avenger Dues and the Game of Zoo?
And Game of Zoo.
and the gamer.
And the Game of Zoo. Not very kawaii, but
Well, then I'm not seeing it.
I know, right? No, it was good. If you have been following the story, it was very entertaining. I'm still kind of wrapping my head around it, like kind of like the way we were just talking about this earlier. Game of Thrones, this past week's episode, takes a little while to process. But I was surprised. It went a different direction than I thought it was going to. Like, I thought they were gonna kind of get together and reassemble the stones and blah blah blah. I won't try to get too into it. But yeah, it took me by surprise. There were quite a few turns that I wasn't expecting.
Did they subvert your expectations?
Yes, and it didn't have a perfect ending, which I like. I appreciate that.
You said, you told me a couple of things. You said there was a scene that made you feel very empowered, right?
Oh my God, no!
Incredibly empowered.
I find it like the end battle of Endgame. There is, I guess, a scene or a cut where I think it's Spider-Man needs help, but he's, this whole battle's going on, and it's a bunch of aliens versus everyone ever in any Avengers, Marvel, MCU movie, and he's stuck, and I can't remember which of the characters, but one of the female characters shows up, and she's like, "It's all right, he's got help," and then all the other female superhero characters show up. And it doesn't make any sense. Like, it wasn't like someone was like, "Oh, you hit like a girl," or like there was no provocation for women in that point. It was just like, some character has this task to complete. Well, the women will help. Like, we got this. And then the other thing that pissed me off the most, really what triggered it for me, one of the characters who's super scientist nerdy girl, not really, but she's smart, and she's supposed to be working on this machine across the battlefield to help their final plan. She shows up and is just like walking around with these other lady superheroes, and it was just like, this makes no sense. Why is she over here now when she's supposed to be fixing that machine? Like, the only reason they put her there is because it was supposed to be this moment of like female empowerment.
Were they like stomping all in sync together or something?
Not in sync, but like kind of was like almost like a pan shot as they're all like appearing, like the ones that are flying are coming down from top of the screen, and like they're filling in, I guess. But it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. And I will be happy to report much to the internet's chagrin, it did not have the predicted plotline of Ant-Man going up Thanos' ass. I don't know how many of you caught that.
What? See, this was news to me. But
I will say, spoiler alert, no ass play in Endgame.
This is now that I've heard of that suspected plot line, I'm really upset they didn't go with it. But what was the end game to Ant-Man going up Thanos' ass? Was
it doesn't matter. That's the
was
whole
he gonna
plan.
grow and become giant inside of Thanos and like burst him?
Maybe he's just gonna hang out.
He's just gonna go. Oh man. Ant-Man turning into an actual he wouldn't be. I made the mistake of picturing Ant-Man as an actual ant.
No, he's just
like
gets
6
smaller.
little legs like you could do in Banjo-Kazooie.
No.
Going up.
Nope, he just gets tiny or humongous.
Amazing.
I really liked how much he was in this movie though, Ant-Man.
Mm-hmm. Is it still Paul Rudd?
Yep.
Well, good for him.
So then there's
I haven't seen the Ant-Man movies. I don't care to. I think on the last episode
I appreciate them.
We discussed Frank and my utter lack of interest in these movies.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I heard that the last few Avengers things were decent. To good.
Decent.
What would you, in those terms, how would you rate it?
Compared to the other movies?
Generally, whatever you want. What emotional response in the form of a rating do you have?
Let's see. I got teary-eyed like 3 times.
She wasn't bawling though when she first
Yeah, I just want to let you know
me,
it was only a little bit of
it's
crying.
really important that I knew she wasn't bawling at the
Because you've seen me express so much emotion.
Exactly.
We'll do 3 tears out of 10 Infinity Stones.
Okay. That's not very good.
Oh, that's right. So.
Oh, that's right. We always mix units.
Oh, that's right.
That's
yeah.
why I hate you guys, right?
3 tears out of 4 Infinity Stones.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Out of the 6 Infinity
So
Stones.
is it finally done? Are they finally moving on, or is there just going to be like
I
another
think
fucking
so.
one
They
in 2
left
years?
it in a place where a lot of the original characters, the first of the Avengers, are in a spot where they can retire them, or they've passed along their character, their mask, so to speak.
Okay.
Their alter ego.
All right.
So we'll see. They might have like the new line of Avengers, which is all the younger or more recent, like Black Panther kind of people. Well, I mean, it makes sense because the actors who've been playing the main Avengers have been doing it for so many years. I think it's time for them to go away.
It's time for Ludacris to become Batman. I still maintain.
I'm with you.
Who is Robin?
Batman definitely needs a touch of that Southern hospitality.
Yeah, and who did we have as Robin? I think Vin Diesel was Alfred, right?
Pitbull is Alfred. I think Vin Diesel was.
Vin Diesel's okay. All
was,
right. So you're welcome, Marvel. Go ahead and buy DC and make that happen. Okay. Thank you for
Worldwide.
that. Thank you for that review. Now, moving on. Again, no spoilers because Chris Topher here hasn't seen it, but the most recent episode of that one with the naked people and the monsters, not Dungeons and Dragons.
Naked people and monsters.
Game of Dungeons of Thrones Dragons?
Yes, that's it.
Can I read my dad's tweets, I'm going to say, but they're messages to the family?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Well, hold on. Keep talking. I need to pull them up. But
Sure. I watched the most recent episode, 3 of the 6 in goddamn season 8, and I'll tell you this much. It was barely a thumbs up. Now, it was very exciting to watch. I felt terrible the whole time, very anxious. I was like, oh my glob, everybody's gonna die. And were some of the effects really great? Sure. Camera work, stupendos. Excitement building.
Asterisks on the camera work, but go on.
Well, whatever it was, I liked it. I think it looked really good. I thought some of the emotion building was really good, but afterwards, upon reflection, I was just like, what in the flying fuck did I just watch? It doesn't make any goddamn sense. 7 seasons building up to this, and they're like, we're going to go a different direction. So, of course, now I'm reading about what's his nuts? The big hefty author, George R. R. Germ.
Mr. Martin. You know how he doesn't have time to watch his own show?
Yeah. And he's like just a writing away. That motherfucker better give me one more buck. Just me. I don't care about y'all.
I am desperate to kind of rip that episode apart in excruciating detail, but someone,
Chris.
I'm sorry.
it's fine. We're not the only ones on the internet doing it anyway. But basically, I said asterisk on the camera work. There were specific moments where it was utterly nonsensical and you were unable to follow it. At the height of the battle is all I'll say, right? Where the camera was too close, and for what they were doing with the camera, the lighting choices made it just a blur.
Yeah, they spent.
The lighting choices were not a problem in and of themselves if you want to go with like a natural thing. If you've seen the episode, you kind of know what I'm talking about, I hope. But there was no help there. So when they did all these jarring quick cuts and it wasn't for most of them, it was just this part of that part of this show. It was not good. But other than that, visually excellent. The direction, incredible. What a well-paced episode. It builds up. It gets intense. It stays intense. And then the action drops off kind of sharply, but it stays intense. And now it's more like Resident Evil for a little while there. You know what I mean? But then there's so many of the details. The writers are the problem.
Dude, there was one point I was like, why did they have these people do this? Oh, it was to set up this situation. Like, they clearly got together and like, we want such and such to be in this position politically and strength-wise. So how do we do that? And then they just hand-fisted their way into making that happen.
I will also say that the military decisions were questionable. Like the tactical decisions, were generally during the battle were poor. Like the plan itself was flawed, and as plans always do, especially in fiction, when things fell apart, very obvious, intuitive decisions were not made. Like, oh, I can't see a certain signal. Maybe I should be close enough to see the signal now. No, I'm just going to stay out where I'm out of line of sight, and I'm going to be useless when my people who I'm trying to protect need me. Like, there were, and that, it's really hard to couch all this without spoiling, but and yet I still loved the episode. I really loved watching it. But it was just like, it was all the direction and the pacing and the performances really, versus the previous weeks where the performances were pretty wooden and dumb. That was annoying. Also, 2 consecutive episodes of setup, but whatever. You gotta do what you gotta do. But in the last one, the performances really turned around. The stuff with Tyrion and Sansa, like, that was intense. For how sparse it was.
I will tell you this much: after that episode, I was like, all right, just wrap this shit up. Like, I don't even want any more of the Game of Thrones TV show. Like, I'm ready to be fucking done.
Can I tell you what definitely won't happen, but what I really wish would?
What?
I wish, because this isn't a spoiler that this isn't the outcome of the most recent episode, because of course, right? I wish that everyone involved in the last episode had been wiped out, like mutually for the most part, like the forces were just totally decimated. And then Cersei in the last episode saunters into Winterfell unopposed at about the 15 to 20 minute mark in what's ostensibly going to be another hour and a half episode. And then they cut to credits and play Price is Right music for 50 minutes. And that's how the series ends.
Oh my God.
If they did that, then Monday morning when I came into work and had to be on the phone for my job, instead of answering with my standard greeting, I would still be laughing.
Yeah.
Because I would be furious, but they would clearly be trolling, and it would be hilarious. And I really, really hope that is what happens. I hope I just called it. I really do. I know I didn't, but oh my God.
Yeah, and that the thing is that the whole fucking series was written. The whole series was like, these characters have to get good, and if they don't, they die. And since they got beyond the books, they like, I just remember there was one scene where the goon squad goes north of the wall. And by the goon squad, I mean like all your favorite super cool characters who are still alive go north of the wall to finger blast each other or something. And these fucking whites, they like, gotta chomp you. And then it looks like they're gonna chomp one of our favorite characters. Nope. We chomp a red shirt. Star Trek red shirt. Like, there was a camera shot from above showing the party that went north of the wall, and it's like 8 people. These zombos chomped like 12 people that were not in that shot. The show simply apparated them so that they could get chomped and not have the main characters get chomped. And I was like, this is it. The show that I enjoyed is over. This is nonsense. And I was like, maybe they'll pull it together for the last season. No, they did not.
Yeah.
Chris, hurry up so we can fucking tear this a new bee-hee-hee hole.
Okay.
Come on.
All right. Do you have those goddamn texts up yet?
I think so.
Are you fucking... Ugh. It's been 10 minutes.
You're fired.
I know.
Can I just interrupt real quick to ask? Okay, just give me 10 minutes.
All right, this is my dad messaging my entire family group message. Words. He has never seen an episode of Game of Thrones and just hears about it from either me and my sister or people at work. So everyone at work was talking about Names of Thorns and excited about it. I figured you were a definite watcher. I'm relying on you to tell me about the plot so I can participate in office chit-chat. Hold on, sorry.
Unacceptable. Watch the show. Idiot.
Are you watching Homes of Gnomes on Sunday? Winter is coming. He's never seen the show. Why does he know that? I didn't get a report about taming the gnomes from Adam and Eve, my sister and her husband. I felt left out at work today. I need to know what the real is with Blacksmith, and Ariel is crazy for him. That's a sentence. And who is Jamie, and why does he push kids out the window?
I think that's probably our good way to end that.
Did you tell him the reason?
No. The shame of Holmes is really involved. Hashtag spelled out. This is exhausting. Hashtag spelled out again. Latest update from people at work about Thames of Gnomes. People at working are saying the Jack Frost guy will take his warriors around King's Landing and attack from the south. Also, people are saying that crypts are not really safe places, but death traps for zombies. Hashtag something to think about.
Is your dad a prophet?
Everyone is making predictions about what will happen next in Land of Drones.
I think he's a prophet of the Lord of Light.
The Night King is at Waterfall for invasion, but everyone is talking about the mystery ahead sitting behind X-Men Jean Grey the teenager.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh my god, that's
the face us. Yes, he described Sansa based on her role in X-Men. The face us real faint and stashed away in the curtain. Most people are saying it is Fourfinger. Fourfinger who lost his sister to Jean Grey. Exciting times.
Fourfinger? That's an amazing nickname.
Make it right. Latest rumor: the man behind the curtain. I'm assuming he means the veil.
Wizard of Oz reference. Okay.
Yeah. The man behind the curtain is really Ariel wearing Badfinger's face. Apparently, Ariel learned how to wear other people's faces like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible.
Badfinger and Forefinger. George R.R. Martin needs to rewrite the books again. Get these characters in there.
Badfinger.
Forefinger and Badfinger need to be canon. Yesterday.
Can I just say that I think Game of Drones sounds like a fan fiction
set in Pakistan under the Obama
administration.
Someone out there's got to write it. There are millions of YouTube videos saying tomorrow's Shame of Gnomes episode has the longest, most epic fight scene in TV history. The Knights of Waterfall against the good guys. So he thinks Winterfell, Waterfall are the bad guys.
Maybe your dad's rooting for the dead.
Maybe
he wants the land purified and unified.
I want the dead to win.
And then, okay, he sent this message specifically to Adam, my brother-in-law. Adam, you have to watch the Game of Drones tonight and report back. Everyone keeps saying, I can't believe they killed him and her. Yep, they are dead too. Sounds like everyone dies. So he's insisting Adam watches this in our group.
Is that it? Is that all you got?
That is it for now.
That was I'm glad that we went through that. That was.
I'm pretty sure there was no repeat in the wrong names for it.
I have an entire new perspective on the show.
You didn't realize.
Thanks, Genevieve's dad.
Yep,
dude, okay.
Phil.
So when Genevieve and I first started hanging out, she's like, my dad's so goofy. He makes all these dumb mistakes. And like
my dad has a PhD in chemistry, by the way. He's
a
dumb.
fucking brainiac.
Yeah.
But he's a major goober. And like his wife and two daughters would like team up and just roast him. And they're like, oh my God, Dad, you're like, you don't get this shit at all. You're fucking dumb.
Yep, that's what I say to my father.
And no, you guys just screamed at him for messing up words to songs. And I was like, wait a minute, Genevieve, your dad's he's not messing this up. Like, he's not incapable. He knows all these things. He's a master troll. Like, this is
at master level.
This is fucking art. And like she's like, what? And I kept pushing this idea. And then there was a point where she started to reflect on her entire childhood with a new perspective. And it's like, oh my God, my dad has been trolling me for 20 years.
Yep.
Excellent.
Like, Genevieve plays roller derby. Her dad, the doctor in chemistry, said, how's roly-doby?
In genuine, no smile, nothing.
Wow. I call it that too.
Can he like hang out with us?
I don't know. 45 minutes to Westchester might be a little bit too much for him.
10 minutes is a long drive to him.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's funny.
And like, think of the genius it takes to those aren't typos. Name of Gnomes. He didn't repeat himself a single time.
They were all
That's
different.
Masterful.
He used a lot of the same words, but he mixed them up.
And he types out his hashtags. Like, he writes the word hashtag space.
That's how you do
everything that you would put in a normal hashtag. So it's all these words as one word.
That is a normal hashtag, I thought.
Space. Yeah. Hashtag written out again.
Yeah, that's how you do it. I don't know why.
Like, it's quotes.
I don't know why it's weird to you. I mean,
when he calls you, doesn't he identify himself by first and last name?
Oh yeah. Well, and by title, which is your father. So he's
your father,
hello,
doctor.
This is Phil. Your dad. I am looking for Genevieve. Now that I've said my whole name.
Just doxed
you just doxed you and your dad.
Now I have to bleep you.
Doxed?
God damn it.
Yeah.
Oh man, you're gonna make Jake do work.
Yeah, just cut that.
Well, there you go. That's the big thing that's out. Any other popular culture that's going on? Did you guys see that that ninja guy is like, he's on like a Mountain Dew box?
What?
That streamer, the Fortnite streamer, the face of Vidya with the blue hair. He's so big now that he is like sponsored by Mountain Dew or Doritos or something.
Are you high? What are you talking about?
You think I pay attention to Fortnite streaming?
He's a big deal.
I don't. I don't have the beginning of a concept of what you're talking about.
Okay, there's this guy. He streams the...
Do you know his name?
Yeah, Ninja. He streams the Vidya. And now Vidya is so big that he's sponsored by Gamer Fuel.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I saw him at the store. I'm like,
you should call it Ninja Fuel.
Who's the... Oh my God.
They'll make a
They're missing out.
Who's this blue-haired fuck boy?
Fuck boy.
Fuck boy?
Well, what's the Blue Mountain Dew called right now?
It's called Fuck Boy I Do.
Oh, okay, so they'll just change it to
All
Ninja
right.
Fuck.
In other news, for all you curly-haired fucks out there, you remember we were going to start a band called the Curly-Haired Fucks?
Yeah, were we?
Yeah, me, you, and my stepbrother.
Let's do it.
We all had long curly hair. We'd be the Curly-Haired Fucks. My dad thought that was funny, and he almost never thinks my jokes are funny, so I really wanted to go with it, but I'm not good at any instruments. Excuse me. So anyway, I started a new hair routine recently called the Curly Girl Method. I think there's like curly guy, but whatever. I'm not going to water it down
girl
because I don't have a clam. I just got one of those eggplant emojis.
Stop. Oh, no. What do you... No. Clams. I hate that term.
So,
Snatch.
Jesus. So I've got...
It sounds so aggressive.
If you go to the Curly Girl subreddit, there's a number of things to what FAQs and how-tos, and you can spend like $12 and get a shampoo to clean all the crap chemicals out of your hair, and then you conditionify it with this stuff that doesn't have bad stuff, and then you use this gel that's nice, and it teaches me how to scrunch. I now scrunch my hair. Did you know what that was?
I did.
I didn't. I thought you would get your hair all wet, put a towel over your entire head, and then just squeeze it together.
Nope.
Well, I had to watch the YouTube videos, and this is really where I was going with this. I watched a number of videos on how to treat your hair, and I found this one young lady who makes really good videos, and I was like, I want to subscribe to this. Wait a minute. How old is she? So I had to do some Googling. I found out she's like 23 now. So the video from 5 years ago, she was 18, and I'm not a mega creepazoid. I don't know how well I could explain subscribing to like a miner's video. I'd be like, no, bro, it's for my hair. It's for my hair. I just didn't want those questions from the NSA, you know?
Or at work.
Do you know what I am saying?
I have heard and comprehended the words you have used.
Okay, Chris, how do you feel in the matter?
Minors?
Ugh, Jesus.
No.
Moving on.
No, yeah, no.
Chris is all minors all the time, so.
Okay. Chris, how do you like... Chris, you changed locations. Why don't you give us a little review on your new pad?
Oh, yeah. So I moved right near the largest mall in the United States. I thought it was like the third, but I recently found it is the largest.
Not the largest.
Based upon... it's called...
Pause. The Mall of America is owned by Canadians.
Correct.
Really?
Yes.
And it is not the largest mall in America anymore.
The
King of Prussia.
Oh,
Where
the King
is
of
it?
Prussia.
Where is I've
forget.
heard of it, never.
I forget.
It's
Actually, I have no idea.
Midwest somewhere, or Northwest.
And it's basically 4 stores over and over.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's the largest now based upon it's called GLP, and it's gross leasable property. And I think it's got like 2 million square feet of leasable property.
Damn.
In that whole mall. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, the King of Prussia is massive, and it's like 20 minutes from here.
Yeah, and it's wild because like if you look at the mall like straight ahead, right from the front main door, if you look at it straight ahead, you're just like, oh, this looks like any like regular sized mall. But then like you go around it and you go like back and you're like, what? And it's like 3 buildings now or something. The thing is huge, and I'm too poor to shop there.
But you can look at it.
I can look at it all I want. But because of that mall, I'm going to imagine now that the rest of the area is very, very dense. I could... Everything I could possibly want is there.
Definitely. There are, in particular, food options.
The amount of food options that I have at my disposal now is... I can walk to a rib house. It's like... Give me all of your pig.
I need all your pigs.
Smoke them all day for me.
I need you to grind up these pigs, put them in my bong for me.
Oh,
Time to smoke some pig.
Smoking some pigs. But yeah, I'm really hyped to go there. But
like that might be some weird stereotype some foreign country has of us. Like, we just love eating meat so much.
Those Americans, they smoke their pigs in bongs with drugs. That's not how you use pig. Fucking American. I don't know what accent that was.
they like to we like.
Whoever that is, I apologize.
It was foreign. That's the accent of
it was not American. They all have the same accent.
Us Americans, we like to marinate our marijuana in pig grease.
Whether it's London or Mogadishu, they all have the same generic accent that I just used.
Same generic foreigner accent.
Yeah.
All of them.
So it's fact.
Hi,
Bill.
Hey,
Hi.
I was peeing.
Did everything come out okay?
Yeah.
Good.
Bill was in the bathroom, everyone.
How is your setup all set up? Your Starship Enterprise?
The Starship is set up. Everything. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's good. We've been playing. We got a good test run the other night. Playing a couple games, doing our thing.
Who's we? Not me.
Oh, well, we played our Sniper Elite.
We did.
Donkey Punch Simulator 2019.
Yeah, like the second night I was there, we played.
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything worked out.
And your roommate was sitting in.
Oh, okay, good topic. My internet speeds are insanely fast.
Oh.
Holy shit, I'm getting like almost 200.
Oh, shit.
Almost, and I'm on Wi-Fi. I'm not even wired in. So if I wired in, I would probably break 200 megabits per second.
Damn.
What's weird is that you kept dropping your connection to the fucking server.
Was that me? I don't think that was
was
me.
you.
Are you sure it was me?
Yeah, because I made it into the thing, no problemo, and you were fucking half.
You're fucking ass.
He's like, he had like
Chris's style.
His ping was like 2, and then he'd be gone.
Yeah, like the ping is so quick.
Oh, did I disconnect? Yeah, bro. Now I'm fighting sharks by myself.
I think it was it was probably Steam. I think
it's much fun.
I think it was
more fun
Steam
when you
in
have
the
other
invite
people.
system, but whatever.
Steam in the invite system. So you
Between
invite me
that
to
and
your,
depth.
you invite me to your party. We enter in together.
Well,
I make it in. It says you're trying to make it in. There's a spot for you, and you don't connect before the game starts. So now you're a bot. You're telling me.
All right, it said I was in the game, but I wasn't actually in the game.
It was telling you were trying to get into it. It said server starting up. Whatever that means. Maybe your hunk of shit computer, your hunk of shit new life.
Them's just fighting words.
I'm just pissed because you miss a fucking. We talked about you in the last podcast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we talked about Chris After Dark and how dumb he is.
Just after dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big dumb after dark.
You Dumbo.
But it was actually pretty cool because it was like you and I, primary conversation havers, your roommate jumping in every once in a while, and then Genevieve jumping in. So it was like we were like Bill now. Chill. Couldn't even see each other, but we were like really having a good time.
Were you guys having dirty talk?
If you consider
After
blasting Nazos right in their domer piles.
And in English, that is shooting Nazis in the head.
Yeah. If you ever wonder, I'm pretty sure, isn't there a soldier in Full Metal Jacket named Gomer Pyle?
I
he's
have
like
not seen that movie since I was very
That
small.
There's
is
some
the main
named
character
that.
in the first half of the movie.
That is what I'm playing off of when I say Domer Pile.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a nice place.
Yeah, it's really nice. I got nice. She put new carpet in my room, so it's real nice and soft and fluffy. She has 2 cats, and I didn't think I was never really a cat person, but I kind of like these 2 cats.
Yeah.
One of them's name is Butters, and he got some kitty litter on his back.
Is he grounded all the time?
What's that?
Is he grounded all the time?
No. He saw last. Oh, I have video I have to show y'all. It was hilarious.
Is it a video of a cat?
Yes.
Okay.
So last night
a lot to live up to.
he got all like this kitty litter all on his back,
Oh,
and it was hilarious because so he goes and he licks his back where the kitty litter is. He goes licks. He goes, and then he goes.
See, no one can see what you were doing, but I hope that the onomatopoeia will suffice.
I hope that sounded well. That
sounded
basically
like you were
gagging.
sucking a dick.
Gagging on a dick.
Chris is working from experience here.
Jesus Christ, Christopher.
But so we had to corner this cat in the bathroom.
Okay.
And she had one of the removable shower heads with the handle, and oh my god, the bathroom ceiling to floor was water. This fucking cat was like all in it, and all you hear was kung kung kung. And this cat is just about a year old, so he's like real tiny still. So his meow was like meow. But this was like terror.
It's a trick.
It was all a trick. So this other cat is now like who we thought hated this little guy now comes to the rescue. Oh. And I'm like, oh, this is so adorable. And it's trying to get in under the door. And it's like, meow, meow.
Here's Kitty.
Oh, but yeah, and there's video of it, and it's fucking hilarious. Speaking of Here's Kitty, that's one of my favorite fatalities in Mortal Kombat 10 with Johnny Cage.
Here's Kitty.
He rips a hole through the torso of his opponent, and he goes, "Here's Johnny," through the hole, and then Johnny Cage wins. Fatality.
You don't need those kinds of fatalities. They should be illegal.
That's the best part of the Mortal Kombat games is the fatalities, my friend.
Tell that to Diane Feinstein.
Why didn't you just fill the tub with water, pick up this dumbass cat,
just throw it
and fucking spike it into the water?
No, volley it from one person to the other, and then spike.
Oh my God!
Because they flip around. You just go in, and like the impact will scrub it nicely. The water will save it, and then it's over. Then it's done. You clearly don't have experience.
Bill's physics and real physics don't line up.
Oh my God! Yo, my cat.
Fucking idiot.
Cats don't abide by the laws of physics.
It's true.
I put a new kind of like screen door up on my house. I ordered it on Amazon, and it's like $16. It's got magnets. It just kind of hangs in front.
How do they work?
I don't know. But when you walk through it, it closes, and then the magnets go click, 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 and then I have a screen door. And my cat, who's an indoor cat, decided to sit and look out the door. Once in a while, she's taking a step out of there and immediately was just like, I'm going to shit my pants. And as soon as I move, she goes, red alert, and sprints back in the house. This time she was out there and it was dark. And I was like, oh my God, my kitty's going to run away. So I went to get her. I went out there to like encourage her inside. And she saw me enter the doorway and went red alert. Decided that she should sprint away into the neighborhood and took a hot step, and I panicked. Fortunately, she panicked. Didn't go anywhere. So I moved an inch to the right. She ran back in the house. It was very exciting. Very exciting.
Wow.
I don't know, when you were talking about the cat shitting, and I immediately thought about Castle Crashers with the deer that uses shit to projectile itself across the screen quickly.
And you also fight cats.
And you fight cats.
Right.
Video games. It's what we talk about.
Sometimes. Oh, and Genevieve and I started a garden. We started a garden.
Life's a garden, dig it.
In some storage bins. We put marble stone in there, which is $3.50 a bag. Put some pebbles, and we put topsoil, and then we put dirt. And so we're trying to grow that dank tomato and carrots and shit.
Ooh, yeah.
And cucumbers and I don't remember what the fourth one was.
Oh, vegetables. Fuck yeah.
Are you guys going to grow sea cucumbers?
No.
How about eggplant?
No.
How about eggplant emojis?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
And those little squirty ones, too. All right. So that's it for this section. Thanks everybody who survived. We're going to come back with some actual video game talk, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. So, Chris, you've been playing a game. I have heard about it on and off for years, and I don't know anything about it. Super Meat Boy.
Super Meat Boy.
What the fuck is that?
It's exactly what it sounds like.
A boy made of meat.
You are a wad of meat, but you're not meat wad.
Okay.
but
that's too bad. Meatwads.
It must be like a cousin or something.
Mm-hmm.
But you're basically this ball of meat that leaves residue wherever you go.
Okay.
And it's a platformer, and you basically have to hop around and try to get to, I don't even know what it is. It's kind of like a princess. They make reference jokes to Super Mario, like Wada meets in another castle or something like that.
Very good.
But you basically got to go try and acquire that. But there's a lot of cool like other little things in there that you have to like dodge, and then you can eventually unlock like different characters with different types of abilities to get around the maps. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of really cool music, a lot of cool metal music, and it's like 8-bit style metal music too, so like it's kind of fun. I do enjoy that, and it's an 8-bit game, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fucking fun.
I keep mixing that up with, what was there one where you were like, it was like super something boy, and you just like launch your dude around a screen and he gets all beat up and hurt, like Goat Simulator?
But not good.
Remember back in the day,
there are many games like what you're describing.
it was like right after Line Rider was big on the interwebs, and then it was one like you just slam your dude around and get points for damage. I thought that was Super Meat Boy. Have you beaten the game yet?
No. There's actually a lot of levels in there. I just wrapped up the first world, and then there's also a lot of user created maps in there. It's called Super Meat World is the world level it's called, and it's all user created levels.
Oh, Super Mario Bros. And Super Meat Boy. Now I'm getting it.
Yeah.
And you're playing that through Discord something?
Discord Nitro.
Dude, if you hadn't told me that was a thing, I never would have heard about it. What is Super Discord Nitro?
Super Discord Nitro.
Yep.
It's basically Discord's like little subscription service. You get a lot of cool little perks that come with it if you use Discord a lot, like we do. I know I do. I use it a lot. I know Jake, you use it a lot. Bill, you're just starting to enter the Discord world.
Yeah, I was pretty heavy into it there for a couple of weeks when we were when we were playing our competitive Blackwake team, but. We were like discussing rules in this one chat. I guess it's sort of a side for future tournaments. They had us weighing in, and it got to the point where people were jumping in after I thought I'd had a really good engagement with a number of people, and they clearly weren't reading our previous messages. So I ended up making the same case 4 or 5 times, and then the finalized rules were just totally different than the common ground I thought we found. I was like, I have to get off of here, because every time I'm in chat, it reminds me of how frustrated I was in that conversation. So I only get on really.
Yeah, I don't think that was the best way we could have approached that, but that'll bring us onto a tangent. So
yeah, it was a good effort. I mean, it was a good idea, but anyhow, tell us more about this Nitro thing.
So Discord Nitro basically is like the premium subscription portion of Discord. There is a Discord Classic, which gives you things like animated reactions, and amongst other little chat enhancements for Discord. If you don't know what Discord is, it's a chat, it's kind of like Skype for gamers, I guess is the best way to describe it.
Yeah, it's a really nice. It feels pretty lean in its load, like on your gross. Skype to me seems kind of big and unwieldy at this point. Me it feels like it pushes a lot of shit on you that you don't want. Discord, if you want just an easy way to chat with your friends, like in a group call kind of thing, it's super duper smooth. Interestingly, it has not pushed any of this Nitro stuff on me at all, which I gotta say I respect the company a lot for, because even Netflix, I was watching my 500th episode of
Criminal Minds?
Yeah, Criminal Minds, and then it just decided, you're done watching this, we're going to plant you on the main screen, and a preview of Anthony Jeselnik's new comedy special is going to play. And I think that's like their new slick way of advertising their own content, which I understand they have to do, but Discord hasn't done any of that to me. It's just been exactly what I want. And you know what? I really appreciate that. And I got to tell you, the more I hear from you guys, the less worried I am about these streaming services and the elimination of actually owning the software, because you can get this stuff if you want. Like most of these games, you could go somewhere and buy it and have it. You could download it. I mean, it half of it's fucking probably abandonware now, but there's some good titles on here, and they run pretty good. And you say, what is it, $12.50 a month?
No, it's $9.99 a month.
Yeah. Wow, that's a good price.
Yeah, so it's $9.99 a month. Like right now, we're looking at it has a BioShock 2 remastered. I also know it has the first BioShock remastered on there as well.
For free.
Comes free with your subscription. I do know it has Darksiders 1 and 2, which is a good franchise. I do like them quite a bit. I do know that game Abzu that I reviewed is on here.
There it is.
There it is. If you want to play it, that's a good one. Kingdom New Lands is pretty good. I gave that one a little bit of a try. Soma is a survival horror game that I'm just getting into. That's pretty fun. Galactic Civilizations, it's pretty much Civ in space.
There's just a massive list of games.
Oh shit! Yeah, XCOM Enemy Unknown.
Yeah, that's the one I was telling you about, boy. That's on there.
Fuck yeah.
Brutal Legend is like this cartoony, like it looks like Metalocalypse, but it actually has like old like metal star, like Ozzy's in the game.
Yeah, it's
and everything.
It's like an RPG, right?
Yeah,
Actually.
yeah. So that's a fun little guy they got going on there. So yeah, there's a lot of really good content for $10.99. A lot of indie developers are on here.
$9.99.
$9.99.
It seems like a really good way for indie developers to sort of enter the scene with
the Old Republic.
Not any necessarily monetary buy-in. Like a lot of the games that we look at on Steam sale, we're like, if it was a little cheaper, we'd buy it. And I don't know how much control the indie devs themselves have over the pricing. But this one has some really good titles on here that you would enjoy, especially older ones. You're like
classics. I mean, we were just looking at the first Mafia. Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 is on here. Now look at all these Star Wars games that they're just plopping on here. Now there's both of the Knights of the Old Republics. Jedi Outcast is on here. Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy.
Civilization
You could be
4,
a Star Wars.
Amnesia, Limbo, FT.
Limbo's very good. If you haven't played Limbo, that's a good one if you have Discord Nitro. These are all great little games to play.
Faster Than Light. A lot of these games that you could buy for like $5 or $6 on Steam, but if you go through 2 of them or 3 of them in a month, I mean, you've already saved money.
You already did. Yeah, there's your Super Meat Boy if you want to pull that guy up and take a little down one more. There you go.
Oh my God.
Super Meat Boy.
Super Meat Boy.
So as you can see, it's like an 8-bit. So it also kind of has a little bit of a Castle Crashers theme to it. It looks like the guys from
kind of cartoon.
It looks like a Newgrounds cartoon.
Yeah, I actually think it was made with Newgrounds. Now that you said that, that triggered my brain to work. But you see, he flops around and you hop against the walls and everything to try to go up and down. You slide around, things collapse around on you. You're trying to dodge saws and fire, and you're just trying to get to the damsel in distress.
It's a fairly fast-paced platformer.
Yeah, seems like a game.
And you want to move quickly because it's like speed metal in 8-bit. So like it's pretty intense. It's fun when you explode because it's just like meat getting thrown everywhere. But I think the levels are very creative. I think the art style I think is very good. I think it's got a lot of good color palettes going for it. And it's a very smooth running game. It's not buggy at all. I think it's very fair. And it's definitely challenging. It definitely it makes you work. If you're into platformers, it may pose a challenge for you.
Who's the villain that we're seeing that's taking?
I personally have not figured that out yet. I'm still pretty early in the game, but it could be someone from later on. But it's a lot. You see how you leave like meat streaks everywhere? Meat streaks.
Oh my God. This looks pretty silly.
It's very silly, but it's a lot of fun. And I would definitely say if you like platformers, and you're looking for a pretty basic one, I think this is a good one for you. And it's silly. It's just silly because meat.
Let's kick back out to that main page. There's a couple in here. Holy shit! Faster Than Light. Now that is a fun game. And what I think is really great is if you've never tried something like FTL. FTL is a roguelike set in space. It was the first entry, I think, from that developer. Like maybe their big breakthrough entry, and they've made some other stuff. I'll tell you what though, this game is hard as fuck, and you might not necessarily want to spend $7 and pick up a game that you're like, dude, this is a fucking bitch. It's really great to sort of expand your horizons as a gamer. The risk is very low. $9.99 a month is totally manageable, even on some tighter budgets. And I think you might be getting here the guarantee that it'll run on a number of different systems. And that was very much the appeal of Steam for a while. Like, Steam makes it so that you can run all different sorts of games on all different sorts of systems, which I think was really important to people who live in like non-US countries. You can live in some place that has old hardware and Steam ports a game so that it'll run well. Man, I'm getting really excited by these titles. I keep seeing KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic, and KOTOR 2 pop up.
I did try to run those. I do not think they run on modern machines, so I have no idea why they're even on here. I get through to character creation, and it's about to load a level, and it crashes right there at the same place consistently. Both of those titles do this.
So I made the mistake of picking up some older Star Wars games. I was like, these are going to be fun. We're going to play them on the channel. And then I tried to play it, and they were super hard and super crappy looking. And like, oh man, I'm out $2 whole.
A lot of people were complaining about these, like, these classic '90s Star Wars games, like ports, that the controls are real jacked up. But people found ways to button map, these old games to the modern controllers.
You may have to do some forum diving.
Yeah,
patches.
There's a lot of it. I mean, I was kind of looking into it too, but it was probably more work than I was willing to put into it.
Sins of a Solar Empire, Monaco, Rogue Legacy, Needhog. Fuck, there's some Metro.
The Metro games.
Redux, Metro Last Light, Guacamelee. God damn, there's some big hitters on here.
There's the Oddworld game, new and tasty. That's the remaster from Abe's Odyssey. If you were into those games back on PlayStation 1.
What the hell is Oddworld?
You know the Oddworld Abe's Odyssey?
No.
You never played that on PS1?
I didn't.
That's classic.
I didn't have a PlayStation 1.
Oh. You've definitely seen this boy around, though.
I don't know. This guy's a freakazoid. What we're looking at basically a shaman with big green hobbit feet and a Jedi hair braid.
Oh my god, I have played an Oddworld game.
Oh my god, this looks like a punished alien.
He is a slave, and he's escaping.
Oh, okay. Well, good luck to him. You know what game I want to play again? That Lemmings game. Do you remember? Mm-hmm. You used to have to like get your little lemmings to navigate throughout a.
Oh yeah.
I played Lemmings on my Windows 3.1.
Ooh.
Yeah. My very first device of any kind.
This, you know what, G, I think this is something that you and I need to pick up because there's a lot of really cute looking games on here.
You know, when I first saw this, actually, G, you were the first person I thought about it. I'm shocked. I'm mad at myself I didn't tell you about it sooner because I feel like this is right up your alley. I feel like these are all the games that you would love to play.
Yeah, what are we looking at right now? Project High Rise?
Is it like SimCity, but
you just manage one high rise? That's kind of cool.
Looks that way.
Or I guess it's kind of
like Fallout. It's a Fallout shelter.
Dude, that reminds me. There was like I think it was a section in like a super populated Asian city where people took over these series of high-rise buildings and they turned it into their own little like community with their own laws. They thumbed their nose at the government and they busted down walls and they had thousands of people living there in this really small space. They were making their own food and there was garbage everywhere and the government didn't know how to handle it. They eventually had to shut the whole thing down, but it was a specific, it was pretty wild. Regular human basketball. Okay, all right. We don't need
regular human basketball looks so fun. I've been meaning to grab that one. That looks like it's a great time.
So when you play these, do you have to download them to your machine?
Yeah, it's pretty much like same thing as Steam.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But it's
but it uses Discord as the launcher rather than Steam.
Now what happens if the title gets removed from Discord? Do you have to give up the
I would imagine it's just like Xbox Game Pass. They remove it. You have the option to buy it, I would imagine, and then that's it.
I love it. Ready to play some ball, grab a team, suit up, and climb inside your human.
I think this is multiplayer, and I think this is a lot of fun, and I think that a bunch of us playing this would be friggin' hilarious.
Oh my god.
Sporting unit.
These are giant war bots.
Amazing.
Look at them. This is how you control them. Look. So it's a maze on the inside of these gigantic robotic basketball players with magnets. And you have to run to different portions of the body, which is a maze, to control which direction and everything it does.
Oh my god.
This is chaos. You get a bunch of idiots trying to control this thing. It's hilarious.
Wait. Speaking
Wait, that
of
doesn't
which,
happen inside your body?
I'm sorry, Genevieve.
I'm confused.
Speaking of chaos control, that's a line from Shadow the Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh my God. Are we going to go there? Are we
Yes.
gonna talk about this trailer?
Has anybody seen the trailer for the new Sonic the Hedgehog?
Oh, man.
With the guy that there's a live action movie. If you're not on the up and up, if you're
Here you
fuck
go.
Jotun, that looks fucking hype. Okay, sorry. He the Sonic that the studio decided to put out basically looks like some nerd in a jumpsuit, and the internet lost its shit. I want to hear your guys' thoughts.
Yeah, pretty much.
The thing is, they don't have to change much to fix it.
What do they have to do?
They have to fix the mouth and the stomach.
Yeah.
You've heard that they're changing
That's
it
it.
now, right? They've heard the criticism, they're reacting to it, and they're gonna change the character. But I just it like neatly sums up what is so wrong with all live action adaptations of games, or almost all of them. This character doesn't look any fucking thing like the original character did. It looks like a guy in a jumpsuit instead of the thin-legged, goofy.
Like chubby stomach
Yeah.
cartoon.
And his eyeballs are not humongous, and that's sort of a big deal for Sonic, you know?
He needs those anime eyes.
Exactly.
I feel like this is just like, I mean, come on, Sega. Like you could have put this money into so many other things, and this is what you give us. Like
This movie?
you give us, and Jim Carrey is Dr.
Yeah.
Robotnik.
I don't know. Why?
I'm confused by it too.
He could like perform it really well, but the optics are just. I mean, we're watching it now on mute, and you know, I like Jim Carrey for all his flaws, especially in funny roles, because you know
That's what he does.
Duh.
He's good at that.
duh. Yeah, I mean, I have no investment in Sonic. Period.
That thing looks fucked.
But you took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah. That doesn't look like any creature ever.
I mean, really.
I mean, it's a little more grounded than, say, cartoon Sonic would be, but that's not what people like Sonic for.
No.
Yeah.
And, you know, they took Pikachu and they made him talk like Ryan Reynolds.
Oh my god. Yeah, can we talk about that?
And I
too?
fucking accept that. Yeah. What do you
Well,
think?
I do
I
accept that, because in the cartoon there was Team Rocket's Meowth that could talk.
He
And
taught himself to talk.
its point being is that it's established in the canon that not all Pokemon are reduced to making random noises or just saying their name.
Right.
Some of them are smarter than that. So that doesn't bother me about Detective Pikachu. A live-action Pokemon movie is what bothers me about Detective Pikachu.
What?
I don't have I play Pokemon Go every day, and I still don't give a shit about that movie. But you know, okay, I'll probably see it at some point. I'm not going to the theater for it, and you know, I don't care that much. Same thing with this. Like, okay, when it shows up on Netflix, or if someone puts it in front of my eye holes, I will probably watch it, and
You have holes in
I
your eyes?
may even just enjoy myself. But same time, I completely kind of get why people are spurging out over this stuff. It's you know, it's jarring.
It's definitely uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. It's like whenever they pick up these IPs, they try to make them appealing to a broader audience. And it's like, why even bother? Just either make the movie for the people who love the IP, or just make something else.
I do appreciate that they have John Ralphio from Parks and Rec as the voice.
See, that's the thing, though, Bill. Like, just make something else is exactly what, you know, big movie boy type things we would like to see them doing, because that's usually where our favorite movies come from.
Right.
But they're a business, and they see an IP with a following, and that gives investors and producers, etc., a something of a known quantity for potential monetary gain. It gives them a target. It does a lot of the work and risk, and handles a lot of the risk for them. Obviously not all the risk, because these movies frequently fail, but that's beside the point.
I would like them to have Sonic go to Pennsylvania, because
Okay.
hedgehogs are illegal there.
What?
Yep. You can't have a hedgehog in
You
Pennsylvania.
can't have hedgehogs. You can't have sugar gliders.
Because they're like, Aren't they super invasive?
So like if they get out and reproduce, good night.
Yeah. So he should go to Pennsylvania, and then they have like the state troopers and the governor just like, we're fucking coming for ya. I'd be hype about that. In case you're wondering, Pennsylvania is not like a war zone with an authoritarian state, but I would be hype if they portrayed us as hunting down Sanic. Go out to Pittsburgh and run around.
Yeah, we're definitely not a war zone because just about every damn citizen has 1,000 guns in their hands.
Mm-hmm.
That's not true at all, but there are a lot of guns here. They're very easy to get if you're a law-abiding citizen.
Yep. Well, I'm glad that they're going to change it, but what are the odds that they just fuck it up again anyway?
I mean, if all they do is change the optics, then that leaves the whole rest of the affair, up in the air.
Isn't it supposed to come out in 6 months?
November, right?
Something like that.
Something like that,
yeah.
Who announced first? Detective Pikachu or the Sonic movie?
Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, that was in talks.
This was just
years
like a week
ago.
or two ago.
Why would you movie companies do this all the time? They all get this idea that they should put out the same type of movie. Like, remember when A Bug's Life came out and then fucking Ants came out?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's like always there's...
Do you remember when The Dark Knight came out and then every superhero movie, every DC movie in particular, had to be like super dark and gloomy?
Well, it's a little different, but
the
same plot.
Did Sonic the Hedgehog really
different companies?
It's the same in that they saw everyone really liked that aesthetic for Batman, and then someone assumed that they wanted that aesthetic for every superhero in the DC universe.
Warner Brothers suck.
Idiots. That's why like the new Superman movies. Like, is that suit blue? Like, why does he murder people constantly, nonchalantly? Like, what? But they're gonna level whole cities without a second thought, and he's supposed to be the good guy. Like, what is this, The Watchmen? Like, fuck out of here! Like, where's Superman? He's Superman. He shows up in a bright blue spandex suit with a bright red cape, and he stops those bad guys from hurting that old woman.
And he's a fucking square.
He's a huge square, but he'll bore holes in your skull, so you better watch out if you're a ne'er-do-well.
That is my favorite thing about Superman, because he's stupid OP, right?
That's the point.
And like the thing that really holds him back isn't kryptonite or anything else other than he's a big fucking square and he doesn't want to do the obvious move.
He's a square boy.
He doesn't want to do the death.
Yep.
He doesn't want to do the death?
No. He doesn't give anyone the death.
Superman dies, spoiler.
What?
But he comes back.
Yeah, he does come back. I don't follow any of these comics. Like, I'm not a comic book nerd, but I do intake a lot of people criticizing these movies because Red Letter Media, Your Movie Sucks, etc., are very funny and entertaining. And I'm not that concerned with spoilers, especially for these franchises. So it's just like, okay, whenever spoil these movies, I'm not going to pay to see. Like, it's fine with me. Like,
who's going to fall in love?
I'd
with
rather
Sonic?
watch you guys for free.
Who's Sonic's love
Who's going to
interest?
fall in love with Sonic in this movie? Because they've got to, right?
Well, they approached me to play the role, but I had other shit going on.
Yeah.
I wasn't down for
Busy
getting
boy.
up in drag this week. I got
You were going to be... you were going to dress as a woman to fall in love with Sonic.
Yeah, well, I got that side gig on Thursday nights that we don't talk about, that I just mentioned on the mic if it isn't
After
real.
Dark Jake.
Yeah, Jake After Dark.
I don't know, man.
Fishnets and heels, man.
Hot.
So what is
Snapbacks and
anybody know
tattoos.
anything about the storyline from this trailer? What's going on here?
I think it's just he gets Discovery Dude by James Marsden's character, who's a co-op. And
Oh, he's a cop.
John Marston from Red Dead.
James Marsden. I think that's
Is
his
this a
name.
crossover with
Marston?
Red Dead Redemption?
No. It's whatever his name is. That actor.
Bill just died.
Yeah, Bill just died.
Bill's
Off
dead.
Mike.
R.I.P.
I try to get up without anybody know.
Well, you failed and it was
You
funny.
failed.
Why do you stop talking when I'm getting up?
Because you fell, and it was comical.
What Chris said.
I mean, I started it.
I don't know. That's all I've picked up from the trailer. Just
Yeah,
watching
I
it
was
with
too
sound.
distracted by the craziness of Sonic's look and
Right.
Jim Carrey to notice what the thing was actually about.
Just looking at the
I'm
visuals.
I have no reason to be offended by any of it. I'm certainly not excited. You know
I'm
what I
not
mean?
excited at all. And I liked the Sonic games when I was a kid. I definitely enjoyed playing Sonic on the original Sega.
They had their charms, right? Like,
Yeah.
It was fast. It was fun. I mean,
Gotta go fast.
They made
It was colorful. You know, when you were a young kid at the time.
You know, great music, like pretty cool level designs. Maybe not 100%, but they did lock you in the center of frame, which was unfortunate. They hadn't thought ahead to like have a moving camera that would give you more time to see what's coming. Because when you're moving, you know, like when you're moving that fast across the screen, and you're in the center of the screen, you have exactly half the screen to see what's coming. So the faster you move, the less time you have to react, which is true, of course, in real life. But the point being is that this is a game, and you could have put Sonic at the back.
And once you get further into the franchise, the camera does move like a little bit. You can move front to back on the screen, but it's not much. But
you know, I mean, hindsight's 20/20, right? Like we're 20 years removed, and games have answered this problem long ago. But you know, I'm just saying that like
they're dated.
It had its dating issues. You know, it tried Tinder, it didn't work out. Bumble, you know, nothing.
You swipe left or right.
Is this, you know, and you know, most of the Sonic games are kind of crap now, so it's kind of like it's struggling. This movie, it wouldn't surprise me if, and I'm sure it was talked about, this movie being an attempt to garner more interest in Sonic in general, to pick up the games already established, you know, in the franchise, and maybe in advance of something new coming.
I think a new, fresh Sonic game would have been sufficient. Sonic was popular enough for Sega. It was like, I think that's their biggest IP, isn't it? Sonic?
Maybe
for Sega.
I don't know, but
one of the originals,
everything I hear about the recent games is not great. Pretty much since the Dreamcast.
Yeah,
Sonic Mania was on the Dreamcast. I think that one was like the last really good one. Sonic Mania.
You know, so I mean, that's a subjective thing, but that's just, and since I don't pay attention to the franchise, I don't know. But that is generally what I've heard on the, you know, in my friends group and, you know, online and stuff, is that this, in that context, if it's true that the Sonic games are kind of lukewarm at best, this movie is probably an attempt to reignite something.
So do you think that the chatter on the internet that they purposely put out a dog shit version of Sonic just so that they can be like, we heard the fans, we're gonna fix it?
That's a little more cynical than I want to give them credit for. But because, I mean, if you look at the state of, you know, new games coming out, frequently essentially like not done. Day one patches, you know, subsequent patches, all these needs for support. I'm very tainted by the recent Bethesda shenanigans. You know, so I might be putting too much emphasis on it, but at any rate, you know, it is a common thing for games now to put out unfinished stuff and deal with it, fortunately, after they get feedback, either by design or because people fucked up, and I think it's probably both at this point. So them doing it with a movie trailer isn't surprising to me. You know, like, oh, we're gonna float this,
dude. You know what would really get me going? Will really start my engine up, and get it revved? A Donkey Kong movie. That. What are you ughing about?
I don't know.
You really want them to do to Donkey Kong what they've done to Sonic?
Donkey Kong is like a total bro, and he's stupid.
Do you really trust anything you like about Donkey Kong to be carried over into such a movie?
I just like, if they just treated him like the Van Wilder movies, like he's just a party animal, you know? I don't even.
I think I would rather have a Crash Bandicoot movie first.
I feel like that would be a mess. I feel like Crash Bandicoot, he'd be like a martial artist in like Southeast Asia, like fighting his way to the top to stop some horrible.
Who would play the Flying Mask? Who would go Oogada the whole movie?
That might not even fly.
Yeah, that might not work. I don't know. I mean, you had Eddie Murphy as the dragon in Mulan, so maybe he could.
Eddie Murphy should play a Spyro movie.
Oh my god!
Wait, as Spyro?
Holy man!
Shit.
Yo, he's perfect Spyro. Whoa,
dude! Too bad he's like a weird recluse now.
Who? Yeah. Eddie Murphy?
Yeah.
Why would he be? Maybe he's just rich.
When's the last time you saw him in something?
I don't know, dude. If I had that much money, you would never fucking hear from me. Small nations would topple all of a sudden now, and they'd be like, "We're big fans of Billy Two Guns." Like, oh, I guess I'll just run your country, no problem. What? now that you pointed out what they did to Spyro used to be this cute little fucking dragon, and now he's this horrible.
Wait, what did they do to Spyro?
Dude, so they made another game so that he was basically just like figurines, and they made him incredibly ugly and horrible, and this doesn't show any of them. You'd have to Google like Spyro figurines or something. They made it in like, they wanted to monetize it in this way, and I think they made it into a battle game. All right, I don't know. We'll have to talk about it off the air. But who actually played Crash Bandicoot when they were younger?
Very briefly.
Yeah, I picked it up a little bit. Some of my friends who were a little older than me, they bought the remastered versions, and they were a lot of fun. Those games were hard. Mm-hmm. But Crash Bandicoot. Wait, okay, Crash Bandicoot. If he wasn't a the hell martial artist, would they make him like a Cali bro, like surfing?
Oh yeah.
Or in Hawaii or something?
Oh yeah.
Oh, and they could put Dwayne The Rock Johnson in it.
Of course, because who else would you put in those kinds of movies?
Right, with and they'd be buddies, like
Kevin Hart.
Oh man, and who?
So The Rock would be Crash, and Kevin Hart would be the Mask.
No, they'd just be friends of Crash Bandicoot.
Oh,
They're just in the movie.
Yeah.
For some reason, as themselves.
Well, no, like The Rock. I was telling you about the new Fast and Furious. The Rock like goes home, and I don't know if it's supposed to be Hawaii or Pacific Island or something, and like they could just have Crash like surf over to The Rock's family from the Fast and the Furious new movie and be like, I need to stop this crazo guy, and cars won't work. We got to surf, you know? Look, okay, let's be real. The Sonic that they put in this movie looks more like Crash Bandicoot than Sonic. Like, if you just turned him orange, you'd be like, oh, okay. Almost.
Shorten the spines on his back a bit.
Yeah.
You know, that's all I got to do.
I don't know. Maybe... Who would you have play the Mask? This is the most important question.
I'm not familiar enough with the games to really even make like an
Chris, who would you pick?
Oh, man.
Not Morgan Freeman. He's played out.
Yeah, not Morgan Freeman.
Not Benedict.
I don't know. Hearing him go Uga, that would be pretty
that would work
great.
out pretty well.
It would be pretty great.
Wait, that's not how he talks. What about Rainn Wilson as Dwight doing the Mask?
Oh no!
Oh man!
False. Ugada.
Or Jason Momoa.
Does he even talk?
Does he? Yeah, I don't think he has a voice.
Aquaman.
I don't think he has lines in anything.
They need the old guy from the ranch whose voice is just like a bag of rocks.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Sam Elliott.
Yeah, Sam Elliott.
The stranger from Big Lebowski.
Yeah,
he's funny. He's really funny.
That's
you have to use so many cuss words.
All right.
Fuck you talking about?
I know we hit on.
Did you see him on Parks and Rec?
Yes.
What are you doing, Parks and Rec?
Yeah, he's on Parks and Rec, and he. I don't watch that show a ton, but I've seen like scenes of this, and he meets Ron Swanson, and they think they're getting along because he's like a big like nature guy.
Yeah.
But then it turns out he's just like a hippie. And Ron immediately just full turn hates him. Like he's all peace, love, and shit.
He was a boss in Roadhouse.
So, Jake, you were saying that you've fallen back in love with Fallout 4.
I've relapsed.
And
3,000 hours wasn't enough.
You had a certain mod that you really found engaging. You were telling Chris about at the Spicy Pig.
Yeah.
Can you give us a little bit of a taste of that?
The mod is called Horizon for Fallout 4, and it is a survival mode overhaul. So Fallout 4's survival mode, when it was properly introduced several months after the game came out, you're required to eat, sleep, and drink. You can catch diseases. You
get those sexy, get the drip, the clap. That's what it's called.
The clam clap? No.
Yeah.
You can. You have to sleep to save. You can't manually save, except you also get an exit save if you have to close the game. But when you load the game, that save erases itself. So like you have to actually figure out your shit. Ammo has weight. You have way less carry capacity. Everything in the game is a glass cannon, so everything dies fast, but so do you.
So like real life.
Pretty much like early game, like first 5 levels, like two shots to the torso from pretty much any gun, you're in serious trouble. And like one to the head, you better have a helmet or you're fucking dead. So that was vanilla survival, right? It was effectively Dark Souls and Fallout, and it was done pretty well. But like most things Bethesda puts out these days, it left some things to be desired. In Horizon, all of that remains true. You can't fast travel. You can't, all the amenities of the game are still in place, except now everything is scarcer and requires more skills to advance. You level slower.
Don't you fucking slurp those balls.
Dude, you'd be lucky to find a ball to slurp. Is what I'm getting at. And they reintroduce skills to the game where normally you advance by way of perks, and you still do. Every time you level up, you get a perk, but because you level slower, you get far fewer of them. And then there is a perk within the perk tree that they rekitted the one called Vans. To now, when you take it, you can take a rank of it every 5 levels for the first, I think, 40 levels or so. And when you do that, you get refunded your perk point, and you get 5 new perk points to spend. So it lets you still kind of specialize your character steadily. But because you level slower and so many perks are locked behind levels, you can't take tons and tons of specializations. You have to like stay on the straight and narrow for whatever you're looking to do a bit more. And there are separate skills that are tracked separately. You have a survival skill, an engineering skill, a salvage, ballistics, armorer, trading, leadership. And these skills advance on their own. And almost all crafting things are locked behind those. And where the old perk systems for some of these, like for example, riflemen. Okay, you're in the base game, there were 5 ranks of riflemen, 4 or 5, and you would have to, each rank of that you took, it would give you a flat damage buff for 2-handed non-automatic rifles and shotguns. So 20% level up to double base damage when you max it out, along with some extra perks on the way, like scope shots can knock people over potentially. Bonus limb damage, little add-ons like that. But you really took those perks just to get a damage buff, and it didn't really. It just felt like, oh, I'm going to take this alteration to the stats now. It wasn't really all that engaging from like a role-playing game standpoint. So now what those sorts of perks do is give you a lump of points into the applicable skill. So for rifleman, the skill is marksman, and it'll be like, here's 30 points toward that, and you need 60 points to, I don't know off the top of my head, but for example, I'll just say like to craft some of the suppressors, right? So like you need to specialize, or like for some of the scopes. What are some others? Like the science skill level, or the science perk, which would just be like, oh, you need to have this many ranks of science to craft this thing or that thing. Well, now it gives you a lump of skill points for science. And you also get these skills by using them like you do in the Elder Scrolls games. So you don't have to burn these perks. You just have to work harder to unlock those things. And all, they also made like Radaway and stim packs more varied, so and far harder health pack and radiation chemical treatments. They're far scarcer. So, and all of the really effective ones without side effects are locked behind really high skill levels. So, you gotta play this game like your life depends on it. You know what I mean? Food, it used to be like Fallout 4 would drop food in front of you from anything. Oh, you just killed a like horrible, diseased, radioactive bug, harvest its meat, grill it real quick, and now it counts as food. No more. Now, anything like that has a very small chance, even like dogs and shit, stuff that you would think you'd be able to cleave some meat off of because of how harsh everything is. Meat is super scarce, and you get from those creatures like gristle and like diseased meat. These are items added to the game, and you can use them for some like survival crafting purposes. Like you can grab a fishing rod, which by the way was useless in the base game. You can get a fishing rod and use this gristled meat or whatever to make bait and go fishing.
Oh, that's cool.
Shit like that. Or I think you can use it for laying bait for other animals too, like so it'll attract something bigger. It's goofy shit like that. And then there's another mod that that patches very nicely into this called I believe it's called Give Me That Bottle, which deals with the water supply and it adds variety. Like in basic survival mode, any empty bottle you found you could fill with water. And there is essentially dirty and purified water. There's worse grades of water, but they're rarer. They're like in nuclear like craters and shit, extra reactors. But dirty water gives you some radiation. Purified does not. Is all, and they both contribute to you not dying of thirst. Okay, fine. Well, now they actually specify as you fill these bottles what type of thing it is. Oh, this is a can. This is a milk carton. This is a whiskey bottle. This is it delineates it all that way, and you need to, in order to not get and instead of like it also in the base game, you could just pop a well down or a water pump and it was purified water right out of the ground, which was a little bit too easy, they decided. So now it's dirty water. And if you want purified water, well, I haven't even gotten to the point where I can make purified water yet. It's extreme. I have to find it.
Oh.
Instead, what I can make is sanitized water, and it gets rid of the rads and replenishes thirst. And does all that, but it can't be used for as much. Sometimes you need that pure shit. So I'm living safely off of sanitized water, and you have to like get antiseptic and cloth, and essentially, I guess the picture it's supposed to paint in your mind is that you're straining it and just like running the water through and sanitized cloth, basically killing all the shit in it. And you need to do that work now. They also make it so that bottles have portions. So it's not like, oh, you picked up a bottle of wine and you slammed the whole thing in one shot. You can use it like 3 times.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Like a beer bottle of water you can use twice. Stuff like that.
I would like Elon Musk to organize a super company to pull together all the best mechanics of every game ever and just put them in one mega game. I think humanity needs that more than we need rockets. I mean, come on.
I agree.
Anyway, the point being is that this it adds more weapons to the game. It adds lots of tweaks across the board. It makes so many changes that I'm not even aware of yet. But the point being is that if you like Fallout 4 and you like that world, but you want a challenging like survival game experience on top of it, if you have a PC, Horizon is free.
That's fucking dang.
It's on Nexus Mods.
All right. Very good. Thank you for that. Before we kick it to our second break and come back to the Steam sale, I want to give Genevieve a little opportunity to tell us what you think so far of your rewatching of Criminal Minds. I'll lead into this and say we finished, what the hell were we watching before that? Something on Netflix. And we needed another time burner. I don't, what was that?
Lilyhammer? Or was that before?
Yeah, I think it was. Because I need something that I can do other things while I'm watching.
But still engaged enough.
Yeah, and what I like about this show is there's 12 seasons and the episodes are 45 fucking minutes. So it's lasting a long time. But what do you think about it, Dergy?
I mean, I'm rewatching quite a few episodes, but some of it's still new. I didn't realize that, spoilers, but not spoilers, Gideon left the show so early. I thought he stayed on for longer.
Like the big, father figure, team lead guy.
Yeah.
Left the show. And you said the actor left because...
I don't know if this is actually true, but my mom, because she and I used to watch the show, she told me that it had something to do with him having vision problems, the actor. So, and it's Inigo Montoya from Princess Bride, if anyone was curious.
What do you think of like the stories themselves? What do you think of the acting? What do you think the structuring? What do you think of all the stuff about the show?
I think it kind of varies by episode so much. Like the main cast, I'd say they're good. They do a good job of playing their characters. But then whatever episode it was we were watching last night where that woman of a victim was like, she was a mom. She was freaked out, but her like scream and everything was so insane.
Yeah, they're like second tier characters or support characters are often over the top. So the cops walked up to her house and like, are you the mother of such and such? And she's like, yeah. Did something happen? And the cop goes, your daughter's been murdered. The woman immediately opens her mouth.
No sounds.
Holds it open for a while and goes, oh, as she falls over. So that was a little over the top. But I mean, we're in the 5th season. So aside from that single episode, like, do you think the show is good? Do you think the writing is good? Have you liked how the stories string together?
Yes. And it's an easy enough show that you can jump in kind of anywhere and understand what's happening at any point, because it is a detective crime series. Like, it's not is it super serial? But then they do have like a few kind of like they delve into one of the main characters' life or events or something like that where they focus in, and it's nice to see those characters get developed a little bit beyond just like special agent blah blah blah. That's all you get to know. They solve crimes. That's it. Like, you get to see a little bit of like their fears and how the job affects them. I think the formula for the most part is like the same for each episode. It's kind of boring, but like we were talking about, it's a nice show to have on while you're doing something else, so you don't have to pay attention too much, but every now and then there's like little changes or twists that kind of catch you by surprise.
Yeah, we used to call them in the first few seasons. We called all the big twists, right off the bat. Now they've sort of upped their game, and I think really they just ran out of traditional stories.
Right.
So the whole big thing was the BAU, the Behavioral Analysis Unit. They come in.
FBI.
They review of the FBI. They come in. They review a killer's tendencies, and they build a profile to help the police track them down, and then they hunt them down often before the killer can strike again or they can get away or whatever. And one of my favorite parts of the show is the head honchos are always like, this is a team, not individuals. We work as a team. But they'll be like, oh, I think our killer hates women and fingers his own beehole. And no one's ever like, I don't think that's right.
Yeah,
they're like, yeah.
All agree. They're like, yeah, obviously, come on.
And all this other stuff. No, they don't even miss a beat. There's no criticism. I've never seen a team gel so well. Right? They're like, oh yeah, definitely. And then it probably worked because I think it came out on mainstream TV. Like, it probably worked really well when it was week to week. But like 1 week, a character will be having an emotional breakdown, and then they deal with it in the next half of the episode, and then they set up another character for emotional breakdown, and then they have it, and then they get it together. So it's just like bang, 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 bang. The team's falling apart episode to episode, and then they're
still crushing it and agreeing on everything about this unsub.
Yeah, and then they just get over it. They just get, like, one guy had a drug problem for 2 episodes, and they talk about it sometimes, and then I guess it just goes away.
Well, I mean, it was a little longer than 2 episodes, but still.
No, they like directly talk about it for like 2 episodes, and then they mention he's going to like Narcotics Anonymous later on, and then it's done. There's one guy who makes all the arrests.
Yeah, he's always the one who cuffs the perp.
The very sexy black fella on the team who always hits on Garcia, who's the heavier set techno nerd who likes to see the good in everybody. What's his name?
Derek Morgan.
Oh my God, the only guy who gets his shirts off scene.
Well, he has 2 first names, so I mean,
yeah,
of course,
and
that's a requisite.
Hey, mama, why don't you, like, hey, sweetie, hey, honey, why? Like, he's just fucking smooth.
Hey, mama.
Yeah,
Baby
he's
girl.
Elvis.
Is he Johnny Bravo?
Yes, that too.
Possibly.
But he, he like basically they have like dirty talk between him and the tech Garcia, and he always makes the arrest every goddamn time. Like, he got knocked out one day. I was like, how's he going to make the arrest? Well,
like, someone else is going to have to catch him.
Nope, he woke up and he went and made the arrest every fucking time. I don't get it. His teeth are perfect. So
he's just jealous.
Phil's just jealous.
I mean, yeah. Look at me over here. I'm back to like 315, and he's so handsome. Fuck that guy.
Shamar Moore.
One of my favorite things about this show is, well, they did go into the woods in Pennsylvania, and they were like, it's a small town. This is how they do it in a small town. I was like, and like football was really huge. And I was like, I think you're thinking of Texas, not Pennsylvania. But it was nice to get a shout out there. But like, they're like going around. There's a serial killer in this little town, and they're like, oh my God, look at every woman who walks in, like every suspect, everybody who works. Well, I noticed, I guess, yeah, it was mostly the women, but a lot of the guys too, is beautiful. And I will tell you something about Podunk, Sylvania. Okay? Hardly anyone's beautiful. I mean, sometimes they're pretty good looking, but you don't have a big gene pool to pull from, okay? It's like it's my favorite totally nonsensical thing about the show. Everybody everywhere in the smallest towns in America, models, TV stars. And you say, but Bill, it's a TV show. I know. I'm suspending my disbelief. I'm buying into it a little bit. I just mean, I don't know. Maybe that's why everybody in that world's a serial killer, because they're like, wow, I'm the one fucking normal looking person. And even I'm still pretty attractive.
But not as attractive.
Yeah, I'm going to chop everyone. Chop, 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 chop. So they get to the point where they're like, all right, we've done like 400 episodes of serial killers. This guy's just a kidnapper. So they do that. And they're like, we got to profile a sports bettor guy. Who's he going to bet on?
Sports bettor guy?
I don't know, man. They throw in a couple in there that they're like, they go, the BAU isn't only serial killers. We also sometimes do other things. You're like,
look at all these other things that we do.
All 5 of these other cases.
Yeah.
This one is a serial killer who also kidnapped them first.
They're all just different classifications of serial killers.
Yeah. And there's like this young character. He's like, I guess he's like 23 when it starts or something.
25, I think.
And he's supposed to be a big fucking brainiac. He's got 3 doctorates and 400 goddamn bachelor's degrees. And he talks about numbers all the time. And
that's it. What a pussy.
And he's like, what's his name? Reed?
Reed, yeah. Spencer Reed also.
Spencer Reed is basically like the sexy TV show version of Sheldon from Big Bungus Theory.
He's got some sweet flow.
Big Bungus.
Yeah, he's got this wicked flow, and he's like, oh, the girls just don't like me because I like numbers. Did you know that theoretically 99.62% of children die in the first 24 hours? And everybody's like, oh, you silly nerd. Haha. But just try to talk to girls and get along. And I'm like, first of all, this person exists. But I don't mind because at least it's not Sheldor, who, like, you watch that show?
No.
Have you watched The Big Bang Theory?
I have watched it.
Sheldon's a fucking asshole, okay? And everybody's like, oops, I guess. He's like the worst version of Dr. House. Dr. House is a fucking cunt.
Yeah.
Right? But they're like, oh, he's a good doctor. I guess we got to put up with it. Sheldon has nothing going on for him except he's incapable. He's like, oh, man, I can't be nice to anyone. And they're like, this is a great show. Ha, ha, ha. Bazoompa. This is the version this is what, like, know-it-all nerdos who are, quote-unquote, introverts dream they are. They dream they're Dr. Reed, you know, and then, because he goes to, there's one scene, and I fucking love it. They go, and this guy is kidnapping women from nightclubs, and then he's chopping them up or something. And they're like, we got to go to the nightclub to profile this guy. We got to profile him. We got to get a profile.
Is that your Derek Morgan?
Got to check his Facebook profile.
Yeah, we got to come up with what he is. And got
to control his Twitter.
The sexy Morgan. Dorco's like, Morgan. No, Morgan, how many phone numbers did you get? And Reed's like, Morgan's like, none. I'm on the job. Okay, well, I was offered 4, but blah, blah, blah. And Reed's like, nah, I like numbers too much. Girls just don't like that. Morgan's like, oh, what's your thing? And Reed says, magic. So he walks up to the bartender. Absolute smoke show. Like everybody in this goddamn series. Reminded me how uggo I am. And he's like, hey, I have this piece of paper here. It's got a description of this murderer. He kills people who look like you. Can you keep an eye out for him? Let me point with my pencil. And he like pokes all the way through the pencil. Then he slides the paper, and then he slides the point off of of it, and there's no hole in the paper. And she's like, and does a hair flip, and you're like, our boy is in. She's splooshified. And then she's like, so he's like, she's like, oh, so I call you if I see this guy? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, and then she's like, yeah, okay, for other stuff.
Valley Girl.
And he's like,
can I call you for other stuff?
yeah. And he's like, yeah. And she goes, but wait, I don't have your phone number. And this cunt, this motherfucking nerd, he goes, check behind your beret. I'm like, motherfucker, you didn't. What did she pull out? His goddamn business card from behind her ear? He wasn't anywhere close to her. It was real magic. It wasn't a trick. This show had real magic.
Bill is
furious.
Bill is just salty that this nerd has more game than him.
No, I think he's mad because no one's addressing clear magic in this universe.
It's finally here.
Finally.
He poked it back. He didn't even like tap her on the shoulder. There was no sleight of hand. He just like Reed would have to sneak into the bar earlier, like saunter up behind her like a serial killer. I'm gonna hide this business card here for later, and then get away. No problem. Zero detection. No problem.
S ranking.
Oh my god. But I like the show.
What's the show called again?
Criminal Minds.
Criminal
Minds. Everyone's heard of Criminal Minds.
Yeah.
So if you got some time to kill,
but you didn't know that Reed is actually a wizard.
if you got some time to kill,
It's got literal magic in it. It's basically Game of Thrones.
go ahead and fucking just throw that bitch on and do whatever else. We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna come back to the Steam sale. Catch you on the flip side.
Steam sale.
Steam sale. Steam sale. Steam sale. Steam sale.
Steam sale.
Steam sale.
Steam sale.
Steam
Steam
sale.
sale.
Steam sale.
Steam sale. Steam sale. Steam sale.
Okay.
Steam sale.
Steam sale.
Steam
Stem
sale.
cells?
It
Stem
is now
cells.
Star Wars
Stem
Day,
cells.
according to
Stem cells. Stem
It is
cells.
Star Wars
What?
Day.
Okay, it is Star
Star
Wars Day.
Wars.
May the fourth
Oh,
be
because
with
it's
Star
you.
May the
Wars.
4th.
Star Wars. Sorry.
Stem
15 to
Wars.
74%
Star
off. Special
cells.
offers.
All right. Let's start.
Listen, let's look.
Star Wars.
Steam Wars.
Star Wars Battlefront, 50% off at $8.49. That fucking game is worth every goddamn penny. Star Wars Battlefront 2? That's the one with the space battles and shit? That's
the classic second one from 2005, the one that everybody loved.
Yeah, that one was great. Why is that so cheap compared to Battlefront? Is the Battlefront that I'm looking at for $8.49 the newest one?
No,
it's the old one. That's
one's the first one.
I can't believe that's more expensive than Battlefront 2. I definitely thought that Battlefront 2 had better overworld mechanics like Galactic Conquest, which we should all buy that game and play together over the internets. But I thought Battlefront 1 had like better maps or something. They're both worth having. Star Wars The Force Unleashed, I bought that game. I thought it was an unbelievably bad joke. Some people really enjoyed it. I don't know how, but hey, what are you going to do?
Shadows of the Empire, I'm totally picking up that one because I loved that game when I was a kid. Absolutely, positively loved it.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And for $209, 65%.
I kind of didn't realize how many Star Wars games there have been.
There was a huge, look at all these X-Wing games. They were pretty popular back in the 90s.
Jesus, I bought like X-Wing Squadron or something for the N64. And
it's all the way at the bottom. It's on there.
It's hard as fuck.
Rogue Squadron 3D. Yeah, that one.
That's hard. I get bodied a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun.
I know the Pod Racer game is on here too. If you were into the Pod Racer game on
That's a great
N64.
game. That game I think would still hold up.
I'm pretty sure it does.
If they remastered that and sold it for $40, it'd be worth every penny. Star Wars Episode 1 Racer is fucking awesome. If you've never played that game, you never bought it, buy it. Great racer.
$6 right now.
Fucking right. You know, we might have to pick that up so G can play through it.
And look at these bundles. They bundle them up pretty good. If you want just the old all the X-Wing series, you can grab those.
If you want all of them, period, it's less than $85.
Probably worth it.
Yeah.
Probably worth it.
If you intend to play them all, that's you're gonna get more than 80 hours.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, let's kick out of here. That's not a bad deal. What is this Golden Week sale? What is this? Is Golden Week something I've never heard of? The Golden Monkey God.
Someday it'll load.
Metal Slug.
Oh, Chrono Trigger, the first one. Look at that.
Ooh, Metal Slug for $4. I don't know what that is, but it sounds cool. I never touched Chrono Trigger, but I hear a lot of really good things about it. This is some crazy Japanese-looking games.
Ace Combat 7
for $40.
I've only played, I think it was 6, and I haven't looked at the others at all.
Mm-hmm.
But Ace Combat is pretty hilarious.
Wait a minute. I think we're not talking about Dead or School with some very busty woman with her shirt tearing open. What the fuck is that?
Dead
for $12.74.
Those are your
Is it
options.
like Her Lie I Tried to Believe? Dead or School final
Underground
stage.
dwelling girl Hisako is aiming for the surface in a zombie-infested Tokyo. Hack and slash RPG! Exclamation point. Obtain weapons and gear from enemies and customize your skill tree to create your own unique character, character-san. Video won't load because I guess I don't have the internet. But it looks like a...
That is almost some hentai shit.
What?
This is not for children.
So this is like a
abort mission
hack and slash with
some
tentacle porn.
Oh my god.
In it. And possibly some attempted puzzling.
You know, classic game.
I'm Eureka, a civilization investigator.
Oh my god.
I investigate the civilizations.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Before we
I don't know why you haven't...
Run while we
Before
can.
the FBI kicks our door in.
Dark Souls 3, $15. Yeah, do that if you like those games and you haven't played that one for some reason. Lots of
sexy ladies.
Just straight anime. Okay. Final Fantasy 15.
What is that clearly a penis in the logo thing on the far right?
This?
Yeah.
President Yukino.
Why?
Jesus Christ, her boobs are as big as 50-gallon drums. Look at them.
Yeah.
They are huge.
No wonder she's president.
All right. Japan, we need to talk. Call me later. I need some of them sweet tentacles.
Nin no Kuni 2. Revenant Kingdom.
I'm not clicking on any more of these.
Guilty
games.
Gear X. What the fuck is that?
Dragon Ball.
Yes.
Guilty Gear, Soul Calibur, Tekken 7,
Skullgirls for $3.
Dragon Ball Xenoverse.
All right. If
Jump
you're
Force. I recognize a lot of these names. I don't recognize far more of them. Castle Illusion with Mickey in it. Looks like a spin-off of Kingdom Hearts almost. Resident Evil 6 complete pack for $8. Neo, $25.
Oh shit, 50%
I do recommend. I'm
off.
still playing that slowly. It's an excellent game. The DMC reboot, $7.50. Do it. Especially if you're not one of these diehard Devil May Cry fans who's only heard bad things. But honestly, like I've said it before, but I'll say it again. The DMC spinoff of Devil May Cry is a good game.
Yes.
It is not a Devil May Cry game, despite the name. For $7.49, you're a fool. If you like, anything, if you like being able to beat up demons in a flashy way with lots of cool creative combos and a lot of like creative liberty in how you go about that task, it's a great game. It's just not, true to the main IP. So either if you've never played any of the games, you have no reason not to. If you're a Devil May Cry fan and you're annoyed, but you haven't actually tried it, just go into it realizing it's not going to be the Devil May Cry you know. And I think you'll still like it.
What is
Earth
left?
Def-
I wholeheartedly agree.
Earth
I second
Defense
that.
Force 4.1. I watched two best friends play Earth Defense Force before, and it is like the most Japanese thing I could ever imagine. There's like giant bug invaders, and you're like a super marine running around shooting these building-sized bugs. And
Overwhelmingly positive reviews.
it is a fucking blast. Oh, Near Automata or Automata, whatever. Finally, $750. All right, it looks like I'm gonna have to pick that
I
up.
think that's just the DLC for it.
I thought that meant it had DLC, but
Attack on Titan, the first one for $30. Cut that in half, and I would consider it. I've heard good things about it, but
Clan of Champions, that has got to be a mobile game. Oh yeah, Near Automata. There you go, $30.
Yeah.
So fuck.
yeah, that's like the full everything included version, I guess. I am curious about Ace Combat 7, but I'm not paying $40 for it.
Ooh, Castlevania Ultimate Edition. You played that game, didn't you, Chris?
Not that I played the originals. I didn't play this one.
Oh, okay. $12. Do you think?
Is that a bunch of remasters? Like, what's it come with?
It's not appropriate for all ages.
I'm logged into my Steam account, but I have to tell them I'm.
You still have to verify it. Yeah.
Well, what if you were
Jackasses.
your child?
Well, then what if that was my fault and not Steam's? Like,
What you looking at my gut for? My tum tum was falling out. Sorry,
it's
everybody.
lovely. So that's I got distracted.
The mixed reviews on it are.
There's 22 of them.
Okay.
Relax. It's mostly positive, but let's see. Dark Vivid new reimagining of the Castlevania mythology. Let's see some gameplay.
See, because I really liked the anime they did on Netflix. So I do.
That was tight,
It
dude.
is real tight. If you haven't
really
watched
good.
it, put that on the must-watch list. It's very good.
Well, there's like little to no gameplay pictures here in the gallery for some reason, which makes me think it. I mean, I doubt they would have gone through the work of making an entire.
Here we go.
Game. 2013, 5 years ago, or 6, I guess. Ultimate Edition. There's a bunch of DLCs for it. I mean, the unfortunately the Steam page here doesn't really give much information in terms of gameplay footage or pictures. It's looks like lots of
all just like
snips from
trailer stuff,
cinematics
yeah.
or like you're paused overlooking a level. So I mean, they say a dark and vivid new reimagining. It could be a remaster with a lot of cinematics, but it kind of is. I'm leaning more on the side of they made like a whole new game, like with like in 3D
Yeah.
instead of a side-scrolling platformer. So I'm genuinely curious. I've never been a huge fan of them, but this looks pretty sharp. This
does look very nice. Yeah. Yeah, you know, I am a fan of the Castlevania. I might pick it up for that for $11.99.
All right,
I think I'd go for it.
let's go back to the main page. We're pretty deep into this little. Seems like there's about 500 games on sale today, so of course we can't.
We're gonna go through every single one.
Get ready, strap.
Fine-toothed comb. Dead
Uh,
Rising 3,
two-
Resident
two-
Evil 2, the new remaster for $40. That could be worth it. Rise of the Tomb Raider Shadow of the Tomb Raider, excuse me, for full price, even though it's more than. Resident Evil 5 for $5. Resident Evil 6.
Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes.
Ground Zeroes. That's the prequel to 5. Weirdly, but $8. I actually haven't played that, although I've played 5 a lot. Oh my god! Visual novels. Here you go. Her Lie I Try to Believe.
Yes,
Oh my
please.
god.
Nekopara. There are a million of them. You should play them all.
Give
guys.
it to me.
Daddy.
My body.
Little Busters for $24.
Oh, so
Oh
cute.
my god.
Oh, they're little
So-
busters.
yeah.
I wonder what they bust.
Oh.
So uncomfortable.
Oh.
Strategy and simulation. Shut the fuck up.
For
Tokyo Tit Go Titans.
what?
Oh
Where?
my god.
Where are you seeing that?
Tokyo Tattoo Girls. Okay. I think
Software somehow.
RPG Maker MV. Yeah. All right, let's go back out on the main page. We're falling down this rabbit hole.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of Japanese shit on sale.
Aim Hero. What the fuck is that?
Aim Hero for $349. Aim Hero is the ultimate solution for practicing firing accuracy to do better in FPS games.
So it's just
So it's just a
Practice.
practice simulator for first-person shooters.
I mean, if you're really that desperate and you have 350 burning a hole in your pocket, maybe
I mean, it could be fun.
it looks like just like a shoot house. in video game
These
form.
are
Counter-Strike maps.
These are Counter-Strike maps.
Simple aim training.
That one map was Dust.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is Dust.
Oh, it's just targets on Counter-Strike maps. Okay.
All right. That's underwhelming.
Yep. Homefront, the Revolution.
750.
Mm.
Open world first-person shooter where you must lead the resistance movement in guerrilla warfare against superior military force. Mixed reviews. 7,000. That doesn't, I mean, I've fallen down the hole with games that I now love, and then I come to the Steam page and it says mixed, and I'm like, well, they're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So grain of salt with all that shit. We I don't know why we zoom in so hard on those, because there's it's definitely not the whole picture. But anyway, show me some gameplay. These are cutscenes.
There's a serious lack of gameplay in these preview videos. I gotta say.
Well, it's kind of like
I don't want to see the cinematics. I want to see the game.
Looks like a Battlefield, Call of Duty kind of thing.
Sounds similar to Far Cry.
Yeah.
I don't know. If it was 350, I'd get it. 750. I don't know if I'm.
No, it looks pretty polished. 750 does not seem unreasonable if you're looking for a new first-person shooter to play. It's about 3 years old to the month. And I don't know. This might actually,
yeah. This doesn't look bad at all.
I'll probably do some more digging and see if it's worth it.
There was some gameplay in there. It didn't look terrible.
A lot of DLC. PC building simulator. Chris, you had a thought on this?
Oh yeah, I recently I stumbled across this a couple weeks ago, and I was reading about it. I was like, well, this sounds kind of stupid. But what's cool about the PC building simulator is that they have partnerships with actual hardware companies. And if you want to build a PC, you can test out the parts in this game, and it will tell you if it will or will not work.
Now, there's
so you can definitely test a lot of compatibilities that you're not sure about, as long as this game is partnered with those particular hardware. But like all the major players are in there. So
there's a website called PC Part Picker.
I was about to mention it.
That does similar things, but
it
you
does.
don't get to see it put together.
What you can do is they have a lot of templates, which is what I used, and it'll break out, like if you click a template, it'll explain what types of parts were chosen for each spot. They'll give you a specific model, but then at the bottom of all that, when you actually look at the specific parts, not only does it show you where you can get it for the best deals, Amazon, Newegg, etc., eBay, whatever, but it'll also give you a list of comparable parts that will also work in that build. Like if you're like, oh, well, that particular part's a little too rich for my blood, or I have a slightly adjusted niche need and I want to upgrade, it'll actually, they have their template with specific parts, but you can swap them out, and they have those resources there for you, along with blogs and stuff. This, if I were planning to build more computers and was prepared to add $14 to the budget, honestly, I might.
Dude, and this really excites me because PC Part Picker is a great resource, but it does lose me sometimes in all the reading with all the different names, and being able to do that same functionality through a nice graphical user interface, which essentially I think is what this is. This is just a GUI, click and drag kind of stuff with stats is really appealing to me. But it would probably get me way too stoked to buy a new computer. So I don't know if I can handle it, but
yeah, that's the thing. Like if you're in the market for a new computer, and especially if money's no object, an extra $14 on top to make sure that you build it right for what you want. This looks very promising, and the feedback appears to be very positive.
Like, I got a buddy who I work with. He built his computer, and the whole thing looks gorgeous. That's like the next. I just want to put together a computer that runs well. But if I could do that and make it look sexy as shit, like these things are. That's pretty enticing.
See, because the computer we're recording the show on, I built a year ago, a year and a half almost, and I sank about $2,400 just into the tower. It's very good, but it's in a soundproof case. It's not flashy at all.
Whoa! That's
why it's just a big hunk of black metal down there. Like you can't
hear shit.
I occasionally hear it sometimes if. I'm running a very intensive game and the fans really have to kick on, but it's barely. Barely. But anyway, this is intriguing. It looks like a fun tool to use.
Yeah.
What else we got? Dark Souls 3. I'm not going to click on it. It's been on sale off and on for a while. Here, this is the deluxe edition for $21.24, 75% off. Shoot, I might already have Dark Souls 3. It doesn't say I do here. I might just pick it up because I do want to play them all after I beat Neo and Sekiro. But the longer I wait, the more likely it'll go on sale again, cheaper.
No need to click into Ghost Recon Wildlands. We talked about this.
$15.
70% off.
I might do that too.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. What's this Curve Digital? This is the last thing, and then we'll give it a call. Up to 90% off. When ski lifts go wrong, 50% off. Bomber Crew. This is like a really cutesy art style. Where
I heard Human Fall Flat was pretty good.
This smacks of mobile game level development, but I'm often wrong with initial.
Manuel Samuel is hilarious.
Really?
What?
If you liked that Real Human Basketball, this is I've seen some gameplay of this.
Meet Samuel. He's handsome, wealthy, and most importantly, dead. A deal with death gives Samuel one last chance to live again if he can survive a whole day doing everything manually. So this is like basically the co-op game RPG.
Yeah.
Every day.
It's a co-op game, and it's pretty silly. Pretty silly. There's boss fights and little mini games like this one. Just trying to piss into a toilet,
Or walk upstairs.
Walking upstairs, tumbling all the way down.
Death for life. All right, this looks pretty good.
That's pretty funny.
How much is it?
$750.
$250.
Oh shit!
Oh,
$250.
wow.
Yeah, $250.
The Flame in the Flood. That looks interesting. All these look pretty neat, and they're all pretty affordable.
What is Serial Cleaner?
That's you.
Do you?
Get
Well,
up to
yeah.
it. Let's
Slip
go.
on your
is.
flares, grab your shades, and hop in your station wagon. It's time to work. As a mom professional cleaner, a good cleaner never gets caught, so you have to make sure you get in, clean up, and get out without leaving a trace of evidence in the stylish award-winning 2D action stealth game.
This sounds great.
Okay, you know what? I'm sorry to say that it looked.
Looks like Hotline Miami.
All these games look a lot more impressive than I initially said from first glance, which I guess is how it usually goes, and they're all on sale. I definitely think you could pick up a couple of winners pretty cheap out of this sale.
This is exactly how I clean.
Yep.
Running everywhere.
Running from the cops.
Yeah, it's not literal cleaning if you haven't noticed. Cleaning is a euphemism for removing bodies.
Yeah. But it's just like it looks like vacuuming.
The
actually.
little
For all you
acre?
Dumbos at home.
The Little Acre, this is some like early 2000s fucking Disney competitor animation shit.
Little Acre. I've never heard of this.
This is super cute too. Very positive. 80% off.
It's
$259. Yeah, this is a Genevieve special. This whatever this is. All right, if you guys are ready, we can kick out of here.
Yeah. Shoot, man. I'll probably sift through a lot of those really cheap options. I might take a look at Homefront. Divinity Original Sin just popped up here. We've talked about that before. I might pick up Ghost Recon finally, but I still have such a backlog. I might even skip this week.
PC Building Simulator for me is what I would go with, followed by the Pod Racer game to get so that G could play it for the first time, but with a more modern controller than my N64, and then fall down the Curve Digital hole here. There's some interesting looking titles in there.
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling the Curve Digital stuff, and I'm probably going to be picking up a couple of those classic Star Wars games that I've been wanting to play through for years now. So I might go with some of the Star Wars ones.
Just be ready with those old games that are ported
Definitely.
to PC. There will probably be there may be some issues getting them to run.
Yeah,
I'm sure once you resolve them, fine.
yeah.
I'm probably gonna explore the Curve Digital games as well. But
They
then
do look good.
if I had to pick something else, because that's a very popular pick today, I would probably go with Homefront.
Hell yeah. I'd like to see you play that game for sure. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us again for our 75th edition. Keep an eye out for our 100th one, and tell all your friends to listen to our stuff, and remind them we're good content to have going on while you're doing something else.
Yeah.
Nice low key. We just talk about stuff, and it'll stick in your head, and you can chit chat with your friends, man. That's what That's what I do.
That's what we do.
Yeah. All right. Thanks again for joining us, everybody. Keep an ear out for TGNA to stream with Dr. Wet Farts, and we'll catch you next week. Don't forget to always but not ever make twist. Cock 'em, lock 'em, and rock 'em, baby. Yeet.
You're welcome, men.